What happens when the one everyone idolizes vanishes, leaving behind a child and a trail of shattered illusions? For Sarah, the answer was a life upended, a family fractured, and a truth too long ignored. She stood in the dim light of her parents' living room, clutching a worn teddy bear, its button eyes staring back as if it knew the weight of her thoughts. The house was quiet now, but the echoes of her sister Emily's absence screamed louder than ever. Sarah had always been the shadow to Emily's light. Growing up, Emily was the golden, child charismatic, radiant, the one who could do no wrong. Her laughter filled rooms. Her dreams were their parents' dreams, and her mistakes were brushed off as charming quirks. Sarah, practical and reserved, was the reliable one, the one who fixed things when Emily's chaos spilled over. "You're so dependable," their mother would say, but Sarah heard the unspoken comparison. "You're not Emily." When Emily announced she was pregnant at 22, their parents threw a celebration, as if it were another of her triumphs. Sarah, then 25, watched from the sidelines, wondering how Emily's impulsive life always landed so softly. But when little Ava was born, everything changed. Emily doted on her daughter for a while, parading her like a trophy until the novelty faded. 3 years later, Emily vanished. No note, no warning, just a backpack left in her apartment, and Ava, barely 4, dropped off at their parents' doorstep with a scribbled note. "Take care of her. I'll be back." That was 2 years ago. Sarah's life became a balancing act. She worked long hours as a nurse, then drove across town to help her aging parents with Ava. Their mother, Ellen, clung to the hope that Emily would return, her golden girl just finding herself. Their father, Tom, was quieter but no less devoted, excusing Emily's absence as a phase. Sarah, meanwhile, saw the truth. Emily had run from responsibility, leaving Ava to inherit her mother's chaos. But saying so felt like betraying the family myth. Ava was a bright spark, all curls and questions, but she carried a weight no child should. "Where's Mommy?" she'd ask, clutching the teddy bear Emily had left behind. Sarah's heart broke each time, but she'd smile and say, "She's on an adventure, sweetheart." The lie tasted bitter, but the truth felt crueler. Her parents refused to discuss it, their silence a wall Sarah couldn't breach. They still framed Emily's old photos, her smile frozen in time, while Sarah's sacrifices went unnoticed. One evening, as Sarah tucked Ava into bed, the girl's small voice pierced the quiet. "Am I bad? Is that why Mommy left?" Sarah froze, the words like a knife. She knelt beside Ava, brushing a curl from her face. "No, baby. You're perfect. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, not you." Ava's eyes searched hers, and Sarah felt a resolve harden within her. She couldn't let her niece grow up believing she was the problem. Something had to change. The next day, Sarah confronted her parents. The living room felt like a courtroom, the air thick with years of unspoken truths. "We need to talk about Emily," she began, her voice steady despite the tremor in her chest. Ellen's face tightened. "She'll come back, Sarah. She always does." Tom nodded, avoiding her gaze. Sarah pressed on. "She's been gone 2 years. She left Ava. We can't keep pretending she's coming back tomorrow. Ava deserves better." The words hung heavy, and for the first time, Sarah saw cracks in their denial. But before they could respond, the doorbell rang. It was Mrs. Carter, their elderly neighbor, her face pale. "Sarah, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice low. She glanced at Ellen and Tom, hesitating, then continued. "I saw Emily last month, in the city, at a diner. She didn't look like herself. Thin, jittery. She was with a man, not a good one, I could tell. I tried to talk to her, but she pretended not to know me." Sarah's stomach churned. Emily was alive, but hiding. Ellen gasped, clutching Tom's arm, but Sarah felt a strange calm. The golden child wasn't lost, chosen to disappear. Mrs. Carter's words were the twist that broke the dam. Over the next weeks, Sarah pushed her parents to face reality. She showed them Ava's drawings, filled with question marks where a mother should be. She shared stories of late-night calls from work, rushing to comfort Ava after nightmares. "We're raising her," Sarah said, "but we can't keep lying to her." Slowly, painfully, Ellen and Tom began to see. Emily wasn't the victim of circumstance, she made a choice. And Ava, innocent and radiant, deserved more than a ghost for a mother. The turning point came one rainy afternoon. Ellen found a letter tucked in an old book, one Emily had written but never sent. It was dated a year after she left, addressed to Ava. "I'm sorry, baby. I'm not strong enough. You're better off without me." Ellen broke down, her illusions crumbling. Tom, usually stoic, wept as he read it aloud. For the first time, they saw Emily not as their golden child, but as a flawed, struggling woman who'd abandoned her daughter. Sarah didn't feel triumph, only grief for the sister she'd once loved and the family they'd been. Together, they made a plan. Sarah moved closer to her parents, sharing the load of raising Ava. They enrolled her in therapy, giving her a safe space to process her questions. Sarah took on the role of Ava's guardian, not just her aunt, vowing to give her the stability Emily couldn't. Ellen and Tom, once blind to Sarah's strength, began to lean on her, their gratitude unspoken but clear in their actions. They cleared out Emily's old room, packing away the photos that had taunted Sarah for years. In their place, they hung Ava's artwork, a new kind of light filling the house. Months later, Sarah sat with Ava on the porch, watching fireflies dance in the dusk. Ava, now 6, held her teddy bear but smiled more freely. "Aunt Sarah, are you my mommy now?" she asked. Sarah's throat tightened, but she smiled. "I'm your Aunt Sarah, and I'll always be here for you. So will Grandma and Grandpa." Ava nodded, content, and Sarah felt a weight lift. The truth wasn't easy, but it was honest, and it was theirs. Emily remained a shadow, her whereabouts unknown. Sarah didn't hate her, she pitied her, hoping one day she'd find her way back, if not for Ava, then for herself. But Sarah no longer lived in her sister's glow. She was the anchor, the one who stayed, the one who chose love over illusion. And as Ava giggled, chasing fireflies, Sarah knew she'd given her niece something Emily never could, a home built on truth. The journey wasn't over. There were still questions, still nights when Ava's doubts would resurface. But Sarah faced them with her parents, a family no longer divided by myth. They'd lost their golden child, but they'd found something stronger, a bond forged in honesty, resilience, and the quiet courage of those who stay.